All right. Good morning, Patriots. Let's give a chance for people to start coming in here.
Oh,
Um,
check the comments.
yeah, give me people haven't come in yet. That was different music for that intro.
Yeah,
It was like elevate, like phone hold music.
which we all know very well.
Yeah. Good morning, Carrie. Let a couple more people come in.
Why do I not have comments? Oh, there they are. Go.
Okay, let's get this all going. There's Lucas. All right.
Lucas is there. All right. Cool.
All right, let's go and get this going. So, the title, Freedom of Speech is Critical and Biblical. We've talked about this topic in the past, but this go around, it's kind of a new thing. I'm not sure if you saw it, but I think it was last week, our Vice President, J.D. Vance, my guy, he went to the Munich Security Conference in Germany. And for those of you who have not seen the clips, I'm going to show them to you all today. J.D. Vance was acting like a vice president. He was telling these European countries, listen, we are done messing around. We've been subsidizing your countries since post-World War II. And the problem now is y'all do not share our values. So why should we keep funding y'all if you do not share our values? And so the key value he's talking about is freedom of speech. Makes sense? Hey. Oh, there he is.
Who's that?
There he is. I can't quite see him.
Like a guy I used to know.
Lived out on the corner.
Good morning, Michael.
Use the curb as his pillow. The homeless guy.
Well, now that John the Baptist is here, we can go ahead and get started. Sorry, we are fresh off locusts and honey. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. I can take it.
Hey, speaking of John the Baptist, he utilized his freedom of speech to preach the truth to people.
That's right. Off with his head. Yes.
This is unacceptable. Where are your papers?
So, Michael, what I was saying just now, I was talking about how J.D. Vance went to the Munich Security Conference and had the audacity, being sarcastic, to hold European countries accountable and say, look, we're done funding you guys. We're done subsidizing your countries if you refuse to share our values. And on this topic, it's freedom of speech. And what's even scarier is Vance, who is acting like a vice president should act. He specifically called out countries like the UK and Germany for recent examples of them criminalizing their citizens because of what they say. So I got a couple video clips here for y'all. Let's get this going. Let me share my screen, and here we go.
2 years ago, the British government charged Adam Smith Connor, a 51-year-old physiotherapist and an Army veteran, with the heinous crime of standing 50 meters from an abortion clinic and silently praying for 3 minutes. Not obstructing anyone, not interacting with anyone, just silently praying on his own. After British law enforcement spotted him and demanded to know what he was praying for, Adam replied simply, it was on behalf of the unborn son he and his former girlfriend had aborted years before. Now, the officers were not moved. Adam was found guilty of breaking the government's new buffer zones law, which criminalizes silent prayer and other actions that could influence a person's decision within 200 meters of an abortion facility. He was sentenced to pay thousands of pounds in legal costs to the prosecution. Now, I wish I could say that this was a fluke, a one-off crazy example of a badly written law being enacted against a single person. But no, this last October, just a few months ago, the Scottish government began distributing letters to citizens whose houses lay within so-called safe access zones, warning them that even private prayer within their own homes may amount to breaking the law. Naturally, the government urged readers to report any fellow citizens suspected guilty of thought crime. In Britain and across Europe, free speech, I fear, is in retreat.
So before we move on, what are y'all's thoughts on that?
Hey, well, I will say this. It's nice to see that the British government believes so deeply in the power of prayer because it scares them blankless.
Right.
Apparently, they do not want anybody communicating with the Lord of the universe and interceding for the lives of unborn children. And that shows me a very deep faith in the power of prayer. And even the demons believe and shudder, right?
Right.
So that's my first reaction. It's like, if you're this great secular atheistic democracy, why does prayer threaten you so much? So just a thought, just throwing it out there.
Absolutely. Michael, your thoughts?
When I see JD Vance, I watched this speech. I didn't watch it when it happened, but I did get caught up and watched the full speech. And I can see, I can envision when Trump was making the vice president decision, right? When he was, when he was entertaining the different names. And I absolutely see Trump and JD sitting there and having a conversation, and JD being so calm and articulate about, this is exactly what's wrong with everything in the world, and here's the answer to it. And Trump going, "Oh, thank God, we have the next president." Right? So I see JD Vance in his first like Trump's like, "I don't know what to do with all this." Oh, thank God, right? Oh, thank God that we have a guy who's going to carry actually, he's going to take the torch from my hand right now, right? And march forward, because JD Vance standing there talking to the Europeans, I don't know how many of them realized in there, but that was the beginning, right, of a new world for them, right? Because of the power of the purse, the United States. Oh, sure, we overpay, we pay more than we're supposed to for the UN security, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, guys, not anymore. It's a new world for Europe, and that was JD's quote unquote shot across the bow. Look, you guys, you guys allowed the Eastern, you've allowed Islamism to come, and you've allowed satanic child sacrifice to come. Yeah, that's not gonna pass the muster. It's a new world now, and if you want, I recommend, like JD said somewhere in there, like, I recommend you do what we're doing right now. Do it here in Europe. So it was a beautiful thing to see. No applause, right? No, nothing.
Right.
It's like, I remember at the beginning, he says there was a little applause at something. He's like, I imagine that's probably the only applause I'm going to get. He knew it. He knew it ahead of time.
Right. And he can take it. He has the thick skin needed to do that job.
Not interested in making friends. Not interested in making
Ben,
friends.
I was going to throw it. I'm glad you corrected yourself. I was going to correct you because originally you said JD was acting like a vice president. And I'm like, not any vice president I can remember. But then you corrected yourself and you said he's acting how a vice president should act.
Should act, yes.
Right. There you go.
Yeah, as a representative of the most powerful democracy on earth, this is what a vice president should say.
Beautiful to see.
You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to go to these things and say, okay, we're going to raise our defense spending this much. How much are you going to raise yours? Okay,
please
do it, please. And then they don't. They say, okay, we'll come back next year. We'll fly in our private jets. We'll do dinner at the chateau, and we'll say this stuff all over again, and it means nothing. Yeah,
exactly. Well, what you're supposed to say is how unburdened we have been through the passage of time. That's what you're supposed to say. And then you're supposed to laugh and cackle and then get applause because your skin color is a certain skin color. That's not what happened. Instead, we have this veteran, former congressman, stand up and say, we're done. You're done. And if you don't like it, tough. That's it.
Yeah.
Now, here's the
They
thing.
didn't like it, Ben. They didn't like it.
Oh no, they
you
didn't like it.
believe
But
that?
here's the thing. That was an example of something that happened in the UK, right? And the UK is rife with criminalization free speech. But now, of all countries, Germany has gone, they have doubled down full force on policing what you say. I mean, Germans, read the room. Okay, of all countries, you are not the people who should be doing this. So here's a quick clip of 60 Minutes. And I gotta give them credit. They actually did a decent job at this. This is a short clip. Check this out. Let me decrease volume. Now, let's not forget, this basically happened in our country for a couple of years, if you recall. Certain states even were encouraging people to snitch, to speak out and say, hey, I know someone who's not wearing a mask. I know someone who's not social distancing. I know someone who dares question the science. So thank the Lord Almighty, we're not in that hellscape anymore. But what are your thoughts on Germany actually making laws criminalizing what you say?
I saw this clip and it was a little bit hard to fathom that with a straight face, you know, those two people, that the two lawyers or German, whatever they are, politicians or lawyers, prosecutors, stating matter of factly, oh yeah, this is a bad thing and that it could be blah, blah, blah. Just like, as if they're doing something virtuous, right? As if they're protecting people.
That's the danger.
And it's like, hey, wait a minute. It's this amnesia, right? Like it was also a CBS anchor, I forget her name, that said to, who was it? Saying that, was it JD Vance? I think it was, she was interviewing JD Vance, that it was free speech in Germany that led
Marco Rubio.
Oh, it was Marco Rubio. Right.
Yeah.
It was the misuse of free speech in Germany that led to the Holocaust. And I'm like, wait, what? It's like, and I love that he she went on for a little bit and he's like, wait. There was no free speech. It was like the talking heads spitting out nonsense, thinking that they're like, everybody knows that, right? This is the good. We can't let people say bad things to hurt people's feelings. That should be prison time if you say something to offend somebody else. It's like free speech. The whole point is to allow somebody who offends you to say something that's offensive. That's the whole point. Because if you make it illegal, and I'm preaching the choir here, obviously, if you make it illegal to say crazy, insane things, then those people will just not say it and believe it and act upon it, right? You want the crazies to spout their nonsense so you can identify them and shame them, right? This is where shaming it should be used heavily, right? You believe Hitler was, you believe Aryan and white people are superior, you're a moron, right? You should shame people like that.
It's funny. Yeah, Michael, what you mentioned, that whoever it was that said free speech led to the Holocaust, Bill Whittle had a good line on this. He goes, yes, because I imagine those people when they were in the gas chambers thought, if only there was a law preventing people from speaking out against this.
Oh, wow.
Be saved, I mean, it just, you don't even have to take it that deep into it to see this is Orwellian. This is
right.
Yes.
Upside down world. This is, yes, 1984. Thank you, Chloe. Yeah. But it just showed you how deep in the weeds these people are. And it's going to take a long time for this to,
right.
and it just shows you how that's the proof of it. They've been steeped in this for decades,
Mhm.
and nobody's ever done what JD Vance has done. Nobody's ever told, or Marco Rubio, nobody's told them, hey, slap, slap. No, that's
Right.
completely backwards. And they're just like, how dare you say that? I think the German defense minister, after Vance's speech,
I
said,
got it right here. I
Yeah.
got it ready to
Okay.
go.
I won't steal the thunder on that. But I will say this too. JD Vance also talked about the Romanian election. That
Right.
was just annulled because it didn't go right.
Right.
And that hurts me because I've been to Romania. I was, excuse me, I was in Romania in 1990, New Year's
wow.
of 1990, after the wall fell, right after Ceausescu was the revolution had happened and he was killed. He was killed, I think, on Christmas Eve. And I have pictures of the bullet holes on the wall with flowers and candles underneath for memorializing the people that were mowed down by the security forces.
Wow.
I smelled a battlefield. I don't know, Ben, you're a veteran. I don't know if you've smelled, veterans always say, oh, yeah, Saving Private Ryan got the visual right, but you'll never get the smell. I'm like, I think I know what they're talking about. I've smelled the battlefield,
Yeah.
And that was what Romania had to do to free itself. And it just breaks my heart that 35 years later, they're heading right back to it. And they think they're not. They've convinced themselves they're not doing this, but they're doing exactly what they sacrificed blood for all those years ago. And all the suffering they did in the 40 years before that. So,
right. Well, what's so crazy is these Western European countries, most of them are like, you would think, being reasonable people, maybe we should listen. Maybe we should talk about this. And maybe we are the problem. That's not what happened. Here's what happened. This is after Vance. This is the head guy in charge of this council, right? Here we go.
Ewald von Kleist, this conference started as a transatlantic conference. After the speech of Vice President Vance on Friday, we have to fear that our common value base is not that common anymore. I'm very grateful to all those European politicians that spoke out and reaffirmed the values and principles that they are defending. No one did this better than President Zelensky. Let me conclude, and this becomes difficult.
Major
Dictator Zelensky.
Applause.
It's okay. We're here to support you.
I lost the plot.
We
man.
love you. It's okay.
I'm going to speak up here. I think that's edited.
Yeah.
I don't really think that happened. I think the guy's retiring. I heard the guy's retiring, and they kind of edited to the late speech. But I mean,
Sure.
Yeah.
But
it encapsulates the response anyway. So
yeah, but here's the thing, though. Edited or not, he clearly got emotional at some point.
Right.
But at the very beginning, he made it clear, well, clearly our values aren't the same anymore. Blah, blah, blah. What values are you talking about?
Yeah.
Please educate me. Oh, brilliant, wise one. What shared values are you talking about? Because clearly we've been funding your nations for decades. And finally, we have someone stepping up and saying, hey, we do not have shared values because you think it's okay to put people in prison because they think differently, they pray differently, or they speak differently.
they pray it all.
That's not good.
Yeah.
We're no longer cool with that. And what do? They get massive applause. They finish out the conference saying, America hurt our feelings. We're no longer together in this. We're done.
I wonder what would happen if a couple of Muslims decided to go pray in front of an abortion clinic.
Well, they'd probably get an award.
They would be conflicted. Like,
Yeah,
wait,
where's the courage now?
It's-
Where's the
it's,
courage
it's,
now?
It's
Yeah.
racist for us to stop these Muslims in their religious practices.
No, Ben, I wasn't going to talk about that guy's response. I think that guy was the EU head, but a German defense minister, right after JD Vance said, okay, you guys are losing the value of free speech. like this. He came up and said, "This is unacceptable."
Oh,
I'm
okay,
like-
I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you for making this point. Not
Seek
that he's
hail.
wrong. Not that
Seek
hey, this
hail.
was this is wrong. Watch your hand gestures there, Michael.
Nine,
I was
nine,
just
nine,
cleaning
nine.
I was cleaning my
Oh, well, okay. There.
I'm sorry about that.
Don't go all Elon Musk on us now. But no, I mean, it's just like, thanks for making JD's point for him. You know,
Right.
Not that he's wrong. Oh no, President Pence was wrong. We're totally committed to free speech. No, this is unacceptable. We cannot have this said in our continent, in our country. It's sad. It's really sad.
So with this topic being solidified, it makes these verses in Ephesians, in my opinion, more meaningful. There's 3 we'll be covering. I'll cover the first one, and then if I can have you two cover the second 2 here. So Ephesians 4, verse 15. But speaking the truth in love, we are to grow up in all aspects into him who is the head, that is Christ. So that sets it up. Speak the truth in love. Well, what does that mean? Joel or Michael, either one of you, if you could read verse 25 and 26.
I'll read that. Therefore, ridding yourselves of falsehood, speak truth, each one of you with his neighbor, because we are parts of one another. Be angry and yet do not sin. Do not let the sun go down on your anger.
And Michael, good sir, if you could read this last part here, please.
Let no unwholesome word come out of your mouth, but if there is any good word for edification, according to the need of the moment, say that, so that it will give grace to those who hear.
So those 3 verses cover a lot, and it covers obviously the truth. And we've covered those verses before in different topics. But here's the thing, in regards to this topic, in addressing these other nations, saying very clearly, we got problems with this. This is the truth I'm telling you. If we want to keep working together, y'all need to stop doing this garbage. So, Michael and Joel, let's finish up with y'all too. When it comes to speaking the truth, when it comes to holding each other accountable, what's the best way we as Christians can connect what happened in Germany to these verses in Ephesians?
Who's going?
I'll go. I just wanted to remember reflecting on a teaching. I don't remember who it was at some point early in my Christian walk. That verse, "Speak the truth in love," broken down. It's what you say, and then the "in love" is the how. So it's the truth. Clearly, is what you say. There's no modifying truth. Truth is truth. There's no version of the truth. There's no my truth, right? There's no, my personal world, my personal reality, and my personal truth. There's no such thing. There is truth. The in love part is the how, when, and why, right? It's like speaking the truth is not a standalone. You can speak the truth and destroy people, right? You can speak the truth at the wrong time, in the wrong tone, the wrong context. So what you're saying, even though you're justified, this is truth, you can use it as a cudgel. You could use it, right? You could use it insensitively. So
Words are powerful things.
right. So it's not, like a person has cancer. Hey, give me a knife. I'll cut that cancer out. No, you have to have somebody very skilled at how to get the cancer out, and they do it very precisely, right? That's the in love part, right? But don't compromise the truth. We must do it in love.
Joel.
Yeah, and you could turn that around with love too, because that's the battle in the church today. I always bring it back to the church, that there's somehow this split between truth and love, or this conflict between truth and love, and that love has to win. Everything Michael, you just said that you can do with truth, you can do with love, but it's the opposite. With love, you could say, God loves you just the way he is, and he would never send you to hell. And he wants to affirm you as the wonderful person that you are. So, okay, yeah, you did that. You did this. We were just at a wedding with a friend of ours' wedding, and there was a lady sitting there at the table that was a worship. She made a point saying she's a worship leader in her church. And her boyfriend was with her, and he was the most ungodly guy you've met in a long time. And she went on to, without shame, explain how they were living their lives in complete disobedience to God. But it was okay because God loves them. And he would never disapprove because they, so, and that, everyone says, Christians they're too committed to truth, and it's, it's unloving. If that's the world you think it is now, we're living on different planets. Christians need to get back to valuing the truth and
It's
not
interesting.
seeing it as unloving, because I think the one modifier of truth, Michael, is love. I mean, that speaking the truth is our mission. Love is how we do it. And to compromise truth, you never love someone by telling them a lie. You don't speak a lie in love. You speak the truth in love. So I think that's mainly it. We have to get back to valuing truth as a biblical, spiritual value and live in obedience to it. And this is where this new political crowd we have is different. They're committed to the truth.
Mhm.
And that was the most loving thing Vice President Vance could say to the Europeans is, hey, look at yourselves. This is what
Yeah.
you're doing. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Well, in the part that you mentioned, the part where it says, speak the truth with love, love conquers all. We all loved. We're all different. We're all unique. Yeah, but what's the truth? And that ties into the next part that we read was, it's okay to be angry. It's okay to feel anger when you see the truth being violated, being perverted, but do not sin. That's the kicker. You can feel whatever you want, but here's the kicker: do not sin. So this love thing you're seeing people act on, it's like, that's a sin. That's not the truth. So it's like, on one hand, we're all broken, we're all sinful. Yeah, that's right. But it's because of Jesus Christ that we are saved. But to think for 1 second that everyone is accepted, that everyone is loved, that everyone is the truth, it doesn't work like that. And so, yeah, when I saw JD Vance do that, and then I witnessed not all countries, but most of the countries there just being like, how dare he call us out for what we're doing. It was shocking to me. It's like, guys, especially Germany, at least try to act like you're going to change. At least fake it. No, they're just doubling down on it. And it just makes me so proud to be an American right now, and so thankful to be in a country that has clearly been blessed. So that's my closing remarks.
We can
Very
close
good,
on
sir.
that. I can't top that. Good. Love you guys.
You got more applause than JD Vance.
I'm getting a little emotional right now. This is 9. All right, gents, thank you so much. This has been a wonderful time as always. Patriots, excellent comments I'm seeing here. There's a lot of good talks going on.
Good crowd.
Stuff. All right, Michael, if you can sign us off, please. I greatly appreciate that.
It is a pleasure to be here with you guys. I love seeing you guys and all of you in the comment section. Bless you all. We're in a new world right now. It's just, what is it? Get tired of winning? Nah, never get tired of winning. Love you all. God is in control.
Absolutely.